Hello, Dave. Today is Saturday, May 7th, 2022. I am the Bro 9000, and I trust you are all functioning very well. This song is especially for the Mega Geek. Daisy, Daisy. Hello, everybody. I am Mr. Brown, and welcome to the show. Apologies for the lateness of our arrival. I was just being a boomer, as you do. So glad to have you all here. Hope you're all doing very well. No full film review today as such, but in honor of the non-official May the 4th Star Wars Day, which happened this week, maybe we will talk a little Star Wars and take ourselves to a happy place. So, shall we get the guests out? I think we should. He's the best ex-radio presenter in the business. It's Retro Offal himself. Here he is. It's Trev.
Hello, you're all right?
Yes! Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Yes. Hello, Stephen.
Hello? Hello, can
You
you
there,
hear me?
Stephen? Yes.
Yes, I can hear you. Bro
Are you-
9000.
Are you well, mate?
Yeah, mate, I'm not too bad at all.
Thanks for taking the time to join us this evening.
Always a pleasure. And just a quick question. Did you like those 32 answering machine messages I left on your phone today?
Yes, and I listened to all of them.
Did you like the one where I was just sat on the bench outside the bowling alley and just rambling on about how nice the weather was?
It's the most sense I've had out of you in the 2 years I've known you.
Oh, well, first time for
Yes.
everything.
There is.
Would you like to progress and introduce everybody else, please?
Yes, I think we should. Okay, next up, the golden reach around droid himself. He's changed his name just to be an awkward bastard. It's Untitled 3PO.
No, not the red hot pokers again.
Hello, Untitled 3PO.
Oh, hello, sir. Pleasure to be here once more.
Have you had your oil bath today?
I've had a very relaxing oil bath, sir, after a day of putting up pictures of the family.
And which family is that? I'm confused. The Ray family or the original family?
Oh, no, sir. I made them myself. L3PO, B3PO, K3PO, and R3PO.
Very good. So, I take it you're functioning within acceptable parameters.
I most certainly am, sir, and ready for whatever tonight throws at me.
You know what my next question is, don't you?
Who is the next guest?
Yes. Here we go. This is the big moment for the channel. First time on the channel, he's been promoted from the wrench or moderator in the chat. We have, be gentle with him, boys and girls. It is the mighty MC.
Hello, everyone. Hello, chat.
Hello, MC. How are you?
I'm all right, thank you. A little bit nervous, but I'll be all right.
You'll be all right, mate. You'll be all right.
Thanks for having
10
me on.
minutes. There's a kind of like a 10-minute envelope. You'll be all right after that. So you well, my friend?
Yeah, I'm all right, thank you. Yeah, all good. Just
different from
wondering
this...
what's going to happen.
Yes, it's a little bit different from this side of the desk, isn't it, my
Absolutely.
friend?
Yeah.
We promised to be gentle with you.
Thank you.
So you're looking forward to this, yeah? It's long overdue, my friend.
Yeah. Well, so I've been listening to you for a while and been in and out of the chat quite a bit. So yeah, Matt's been trying to get me on quite a bit. So
bless him.
Here I am.
Matthew's taking one for the team again. The mighty swap shop taking one for the team. So you know what my next question is, don't you, MC?
Is it? Shall we bring on the next guest?
It might be. It might be. Okay, so last but by no means least, he's the wise elder of the channel, the writer, portal director, paid up member of the Self-Produced Appreciation Society. It's the great mega geek himself. It's Ian David Diaz.
Hello. everyone.
Hello, my friend. How are you?
I'm all right. I'm all right. Just rearing to go.
You've been working today?
Yeah, I'm knackered. Absolutely knackered. So yeah,
Is it the corporate stuff, yeah?
it's always the corporate stuff, mate. Always. Yeah.
And if I may, what's happening with the Doctor Who stuff? I've not had an update for a long time.
That is in trouble because the special effects guy that was working on it, he resides in Russia. And so all
Oh,
this crap started happening and I couldn't pay him. So he had to stop work. But I've got somebody else on it now. So hopefully we'll have something in the next few months.
right. Okay. So that's very much a work in progress then, yes. Apparently, as I said yesterday in the green room, we're expecting the announcement for Doctor Who next week. I don't know if it's
They said it's next week, but you can't be, you know, that's
yeah,
no guarantee though, is there? I think a lot of people are saying next week. Who knows though?
yeah. I
I
think
just I
go on, mate.
just wish they'd get it over and done with. That's all I
Put
can
us out
say.
of our misery. I think they're
Yeah.
kind of doing it on the day. It's on the 14th, the FA Cup. Obviously, it's the 14th Doctor on the 14th and Eurovision. So probably a big day for the BBC. So I can probably see why
Yeah. Well,
they've done
fingers
it.
crossed
Okay.
it's a guy. That's all I can say.
Yeah,
If they go backwards and they have another woman, it's not going to be good for
yeah, it'll be game
anyone
over,
really.
won't it?
Yeah.
Okay, so as I said, we're not talking film review as such because a couple of things been going on in my life this week. So untitled live stream, live discussion today, Saturday, May 7th, 2022. Let me flick the graphic. Hello, Problem Beam, by the way. You've been missed. Mr. Brown Alliance, please like, share, subscribe, all the usual stuff. I'll just say hello to the boys and girls in the chat. Obviously, Edgy Time, Bishop Moore, Problem Bean, Little Platoon, Lord Chord taking one for the team. Thank you, my friend. Romeo, Tango, November, Zulu, and the mighty. So, simple question, I think. Shall we just get straight into it? The question is, right, so I'm going to flash up 3 movie posters. And the chat can join in as well if they want. The options are A, B, or C. So, I think what we'll do is we'll discuss the winner between us. So the options are A, B, or C. That is option A. Star Wars, 1977. B. Empire Strikes Back. I think that was 1980, if memory serves me well. I know what my favourite is, but there you go. And Return of the Jedi, which was that 1983?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So, panel. Shall we start with you first, Trev? So, Star Wars, A, B, C.
Do you know, I like B. I think that out of the 3, possibly, I know it's Erwin Kershner, but I thought his direction of that film was really good. It went from being, I don't know, Star Wars, as good as it is, it did look kind of cheap in places.
Yes.
But, Empire sort of took Star Wars up to a new level. Plus, they didn't really win, and they got their asses kicked, which is kind of different. You know, all these hero-type movies, space dramas, whatnot, the good guys always tend to win. I mean, fair enough, yes, they did in the end, but it's nice to have, well, for what it was, one of the parts, obviously there was 3 back in our day, 1/3 of the trilogy was an episode where they got their asses handed to them on a plate, and that's what I like about it, really.
So, B.
Although it's much better with a Ferrero Rocher in my mouth.
I know, Ferrero. I'm sorry, mate.
Yes, it's just wonderful how they melt.
Yes. Okay.
In
so
your mouth
we'll
and
do.
not in your hand.
Says B.
Yeah, cool.
Bigot. B.
Yeah,
Edgy.
I think B.
B.
Yeah, I can't fault you guys. B.
Little Platoon because he's an awkward little shit. D. Last Jedi. Always goes back to the Last Jedi.
Get the fuck out.
Right.
That would be E, wouldn't it?
Yeah. So, Z, favourite one, A, B, or C? Obviously, this is very personal for you.
Well, on a personal level, sir, it's obviously got to be C, where I'm worshipped like the god I am. But from a writing story point, I've got to go with B, I'm afraid.
Okay, I think B's probably got this already. And would you care to elaborate? Maybe a sentence or two?
I
Before
think
we get
just
going?
pretty much covered everything on this one. It's you go into this with the same hope and, upbeat tempo that you did coming out the first one, and you leave it distraught.
Yeah.
And it was like nothing I'd ever seen before. You don't, as Trev said, you just do not see the good guys lose on every single level.
Yeah. It was a bit of a shocker, wasn't it?
It was.
And Han Solo being turned into a chalk eyes.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so again, Empire. Right. Okay, so who's next? MC.
Hello.
Hello. So A, B, or C?
I'm gonna have to go with B as well. I'm afraid because it's. I mean, I love the original Star Wars. I've seen hundreds of times.
Yeah.
But Empire is my favorite. I think just because it's got that dark edge to it. The cliffhanger's slightly annoying, but because it obviously doesn't stand on its own as a movie. But yeah, it's definitely one of my favorites. I think the music as well helps. The music, the Imperial March, is just epic.
I know.
And Return of the Jedi was kind of a bit of a rehash of A New Hope in some respects, obviously with extra teddy bears and Muppets in it. I still loved it as a kid, but I think Empire's the one that I still love the most out of the three of them. So
I think even as younger adults or children, we understood how good Empire Strikes Back was.
Yeah. I say it was one of those that I had bought on VHS for large amounts of money, £80 from my mum.
Wow.
But yeah.
In the chat, Jacob Ironside, B. So I think B is running away with this. So B for you then, MC. Ian, A, B, or C?
B, because it's the best out of the three. So there you go.
Pure and simple, the best.
It is. It's the best. It's well shot. Photography is brilliant in it. The direction is, I would say, standard. Nothing special about the direction at all. But the story and the performances are brilliant, and the special effects are groundbreaking. Well, I wouldn't say groundbreaking, but special effects, they took it to another level.
Yeah.
In this one, so yeah, I would say B.
Okay, so I think we'll. So what we'll do is we'll effectively, the winner is B. So we'll just talk about The Empire Strikes Back for a bit and just kind of go to that happy place. So, as we said, 1980. It's Irving Kershner, isn't it?
Yep, he's the one that taught George Lucas in university. I think.
Yeah.
I think it's there. Yeah, that's why he hired him. I think so. Yeah.
So I will. Z.
Yeah, I was just going to say this was George's. He tried to avoid the studio entanglements from last time, so he financed the entire movie himself.
He did. He put his house up as collateral. as well as that's what I read anyway.
And after it was an absolute fantastic hit, he then shared some of the profits with his employees there. Just as a pat on the back, saying thank you very much. We won't see that today.
He did that, and the first Star Wars as well gave Alec Guinness more money, because Alec Guinness famously said that on Parkinson. He was being interviewed on Parkinson.
I was watching that yesterday, yeah.
Yeah, and he gave him a call and told him that he was going to give him more money, and he said thank you very much. And yeah, so there you go.
I think the story was it. George rang him up and said, "We'll give you an extra 0.5%," and then he spoke to another producer saying it was a quarter or something, which was the story. So
yeah,
it was. He really didn't embrace it, did he, Alec Guinness?
He basically said it was like Lord of the Rings. That's why he decided to take it on. That was one of the main reasons why he took it on. But yes, he didn't understand the whole concept of it. He didn't understand. He said he understood it after he saw the film, but I think he was actually saying that he did it for the money. But one of the reasons why I did it was because it reminded me of Lord of the Rings. Yeah. I think that's it, really. Yeah.
Z has uploaded the trailer, so shall we see if it works? Bear with me, guys. Let's see if this works.
Luke Skywalker and Han Solo rescued the princess, destroyed the Death Star, but their story didn't end there. Creators of the biggest smash hit of all time bring you the next episode in the Star Wars saga, The Empire Strikes Back. The continuing story of our band of heroes: Luke Skywalker, Princess Leia, Han Solo, C-3PO, R2-D2, and Chewbacca. And introducing Lando Calrissian. It's an epic of romance.
Yes!
This is an awful trailer.
It is.
It's terrible.
Of heroes and villains.
Where's ham salad?
They cross trackless voids to unknown.
I look like Jeremy Bullock.
A galactic odyssey against oppression.
Galactic against oppression.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Big, new, sprawling space adventure in the Star Wars saga, The Empire Strikes Back.
Boom!
Coming to your galaxy next summer.
I'm sold.
I understand why they did the trailer like that, because in those days there was no such thing as internet, so they kind of basically tried to show you all the film, because you'd only see it in the cinema, and then when you come out of the cinema, you kind of slightly forget about it. Do you know what I mean? So that's why they did trailers like that in those days. But yeah, it's not a very good trailer by today's standards, put it that way.
A couple of comments in the chats. Apology accepted, Captain Leader.
Sorry, that was me.
Yeah. Problem Bean. Hello, Problem Bean. Hello, Probby.
I spelled apology wrong as well. Sorry.
Yeah, you thick twat. Mark Hamill's scars were genuine because he was involved in a car crash where did he nearly die? Yeah.
He was,
That's why they did the Hoth Wampa scene to account for his facial changes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Jacob says, bad trailer.
Yeah, it isn't very good, but as I said, trailers were like that in those days. The thing that puts me off is that voiceover guy.
Yes.
Obviously, it's not the kind of voice you'd use for trailers today, but you know.
In a world
Yeah, like that. Yeah.
In a time
He was a cop on the edge.
of
Okay,
the
guys.
sofa, then he fell off. This time, he's gonna kick ass. DFS 2. The sale continues.
So, guys, what was your first experience of this film? I'm going to go with MC first. So, when was the first time you saw this, and what did you think?
I saw it at the cinema when it first came out, and I thought it was amazing. It's going back a bit though, so trying to remember it in the cinema was a bit tricky. But yeah, it was just Star Wars, and I just loved everything Star Wars at the time. So it was fantastic, and Darth Vader just was always one of my faves, along with Han Solo. And there's more Han Solo in it, and lots of Falcon, and loads of ships, and battles, and the asteroid field was amazing, and it was just great. And obviously the meeting of Luke and Vader towards the end was fantastic. And you got Boba Fett. It was just the whole thing. It's just fantastic, and still love it now.
How old were you when you went to see it?
When did it come out? It was 80, wasn't it?
80.
So it would have been about 9. So because it would have been a May release. So yeah, it would have been 9. Little
And
boys.
you obviously loved it, yes.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it was great. I think I saw it several times at the cinema before I got it on video as well. So it was quite handy, mum and dad being separated. So I used to get several cinema trips out of both of them, and then obviously friends as well. So it was always a bonus.
Z, first time?
Yeah, I went to the cinema to watch this. 12 years old. Was absolutely blown away. Everything about it was just screamed visual spectacle. And I was thoroughly engaged and stuck on the corner of my seat right the way through it. I mean, they didn't hold any punches from the offset. Rebels getting absolutely creamed, Luke getting wampered and almost freezing to death. And it's just like, what the hell's going on? And then Boba Fett, the only man that I've seen sass Vader and get away with it.
Yeah,
that's why he was,
Boba Fett, yeah.
That's why he's such an icon.
Not anymore, he's not.
Not anymore. But this was a really good year for films, especially sci-fi, because it's really starting to take off, wasn't it? Because we also had, what else we have this year? Superman 2.
Indeed.
Can't call that sci-fi though.
Oh, go on. Well, you can't really call Flash Gordon sci-fi because that's also
same year, yeah.
No, it was the same year.
That was sci-fi. Flash Gordon.
Yeah, it's also a comic property.
Yeah, but it was still sci-fi though, isn't it?
All right,
spaceships and all that. Yeah, it's good though.
That's another great film. We ought to do that one day. That's kinky as hell, that movie.
It is. It
is very camp.
Yeah, it's a great film. Melvin, deeply in the chat. Hello, Melvin. I saw it at the Odeon, Anglia Square in Norwich when it first came out. I was 8.
Wow.
Yeah, I saw it at Odeon as well in Leicester.
Ian, first time you saw it?
I saw it in the Flea Pit cinema called the Ruby in Clapham Junction. So they used to have 2 cinemas in Clapham Junction. They were both Flea Pits cinemas. What I mean by Flea Pit cinemas is basically the cinemas were run down and was very dirty. But people used to storm in there every Saturday and get drunk and throw popcorn and scream and stuff and have a really good time. In those days, when you went to see a film, you could see it over and over again. So you just pay one price. When the film would finish, you just sit there through the adverts and watch it again if you want to. So I saw it in a cinema called the Ruby, which is now Barclays Bank today. And I saw it there first in the worst condition you can ever see a film. There was crap all over the film. In fact, I think it broke halfway through, and then they sellotaped it back again, and then they started playing it. And then I watched it. Then I saved up enough money to go and watch it in the Empire, which is in Leicester Square, which is you know, it was proper. It was a good print. You know, it didn't have much crap over it. So I saw it twice, and then I saw it like multiple times on VHS. When we got it on VHS. So that was the first time I saw it. I don't know how old I was when I saw it though. I can't remember, but as I said, I saw it when it was released in the cinema. But I say a very different time in those days, because they used to get the film. All these small cinemas used to get the film, and it was the worst state you can ever imagine a film to be in. I think the one scene in it, a couple of seconds, was black and white. I think it's the scene where Luke meets Darth Vader. He goes up the steps, and Darth Vader says, "The Force is with you, young Skywalker." And before he can end, "You're not a Jedi yet." The whole of that frame goes black and white for like 5 seconds, and it comes back in color. So those are the kind of state of prints they got to show in these small cinemas. So yeah, so there you go. That's my experience.
Trev, have I asked you? I can't remember. I'm old.
No, you haven't.
First experience, my friend.
His name was Melanie. Do you know something? I can't actually remember where I saw The Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah.
Whether it was at the cinema or what, I can't honestly remember. I know it's very anticlimactic. The rest of you have got these fantastic memories of going to the cinema and seeing this film. But when it came out, family-wise, we'd just emigrated to Canada.
Oh, wow.
So, 1980 was a year of big upheaval for us. So there wasn't really much time to go to the cinema. And the place where we ended up living, in the 3 years that we lived there, the cinema only opened once, and that was for Popeye. Oh, what a flick. What a great film.
Is that the one, Robin Williams?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I saw that
once
at
in
the cinema as
3
well.
years, and we get fucking Popeye. And that, something, I love that now. And if I hear any Popeye references, it reminds me of that. And about that, Popeye, you had a stroke 7 years ago. You see that on Family Guy?
Yeah. I do like "I Am What I Am," the song he sings. I don't really like musicals, but I do like that sequence in the film. But I think that was the first clip I saw on TV of Popeye that they showed that clip. And Robin Williams is great as him as well. Robin Williams did a really good job.
It was good as a character actor. And the only other movie I saw in the years that I lived in Canada was 1982, Megaforce. But I think you knew that were coming, Mr. Brown.
Yeah, there's much
God,
love for Megaforce. Yeah,
Barry Bostwick in Bostic.
Yeah.
Barry Bostwick in spandex.
Isn't Bostic a glue?
Yeah,
glue.
It is.
I realised what I'd said then. And I'm like, oh shit! I might as well just change his name. I'll just change his name to Dave Prittstick.
I will just say to Swap Shop, Echo. I think because she was in the studio, so I booted you, and that's probably why it was feeding back a little bit. So, okay, so. Melvin in the chat, seen the original Star Wars in a flea pit is that Hamilton?
Hamilton, yeah. They used to be called flea pits in those days.
Not cinemas.
Yeah, cinemas. Yeah, cinemas used to be. I don't know where. I don't know where he lives. Hamilton could be in Canada. I don't know, but in England, they used to be called flea pits, and for good reason as well. I was watching one film once. I think it was a James Bond film, and this cat just jumped on my lap.
What?
Yeah, because they used to have cats in the cinema because there were mice in the cinema, so they used to have like 6 cats in the cinema.
You only lived twice, was it?
I can't remember which one.
Was it a white cat?
The cat used to run under the seats to try and catch the mice that was in the cinema.
Was this cinema in the Victorian era?
No. It was the worst case scenario. But on Saturday nights, they used to because they played horror films on Saturday nights, and most of the people that lived around my area, mostly black people, used to storm the Ruby or Granada. There was 2 cinemas, and they used to go in there drunk, and they would allow them to go in there with their alcohol and stuff, and and they'll be just screaming. I remember once they showed Enter the Dragon, a 12 o'clock screening, and I went to see it, and it was packed.
Wow.
Packed. mostly black people screaming and shouting and pretending they were Bruce Lee and all that. It's a different time, different era of cinema. Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
You said as it was full of black people. As a white supremacist, were you uncomfortable?
Yes. No. As I said, majority was black people, because in those, I don't know if you know I'm not going to go into it, but in New York they had that scene where they showed midnight films, and that's how kung fu became famous in New York, and that's how kung fu films were made, or the Americans started making kung fu films, because those films they used to buy the kung fu films from Japan, play it in New York, and it used to be sold out every night. So one distributor said, "Oh, we should make kung fu movies over here," and then that's how it picked up. So yeah, and that's how Enter the Dragon got made, because of that status. It was the same thing with horror films over where I lived. If you put on It's Alive, I don't know if you remember that film It's Alive. They put on It's Alive once, and you couldn't get in. The cinema was packed with people that just want to see that horror film, and it was usually double bill It's Alive together with Scanners or something like that.
Well, that's a great film.
So yeah. So it was that was the time.
Yeah. What happened to double bills?
I don't know.
Yeah. I remember seeing a few double bills. I think I saw Cannibal Run and Zorro the Gay Blade at the same time at the cinema. Two comedies together back in the day. But yeah, you don't get them anymore.
I saw The Warriors and The Wanderers once. I don't know if you remember those two films. Yeah, Wanderers, and they were very similar. So they used to have double bills that were similar to one another.
Yeah.
So yeah, they would do that. Yeah. I saw Hooper and The Driver.
Wow.
What
a film.
Burt Reynolds, wasn't it? Hooper.
Burt Reynolds, yeah. Burt Reynolds and Ryan O'Neal was in The Driver. Both films are really good. I think Drive was directed by Walter Hill, and Hooper. I can't remember who directed Hooper, but that was a great film as well. Oh, yeah. That was a good film.
Didn't he do all the Smoking the Bandits as well?
He did, and Cannibal Run. And Megaforce. Yay.
New Megaforce would come in there. Yeah.
I'd love to come in Megaforce.
I bet you would. Okay, so I officially I apologise to Brian. Sorry, Brian. You can kick me in the head later. Sorry, mate. Guess who's turned up, everybody?
Who be that then?
Whee!
Matt,
Swappers.
When was the first time you saw Empire, Matt?
It's the Jester from Leicester.
You got two jesters from Leicester.
Can you hear me, Swappers?
He can't.
Has he got
Hello?
Okay, yeah, go.
Stephen,
I had my mic muted, didn't I? I saw it when I was, I think I was like 11 or something. It was just after I saw Return of the Jedi, and it was on video at my aunt's house on VHS, because she was the only one in the family with a flipping video, right? And I got the allowance to walk down to the shop to pick whatever I wanted to watch. I could not believe my luck, right? All my friends had seen it. I hadn't seen it yet. I'd only seen Star Wars and Jedi. I hadn't seen Empire Strikes Back, even though I knew everything that happened. I'd read the novel, the annual that came out that year, all the comics. Everyone had ruined everything in the film for me, right? But it did not matter at all. I was so excited to see this film properly, like properly on film. And I think I watched it like 5 times back to back. And they had to pull me out of the lounge for dinner because I just kept watching it and kept watching it. Just like, it was kind of like a vindication, It's kind of like, yes, you bastards, I finally got to watch it again, And I absolutely loved it. I just utterly adored the film. It was kind of a weird experience because I'd seen the trilogy in like a weird way. I'd seen the first one, the third one, and the second one, even though I'd read the second one before the third one, etc., etc. But
how George wrote them. Asked about face.
Pretty much, yeah. Well, it's how Yoda probably would have done it, yeah. So I basically I got a different appreciation of it to everyone else because everything got spoiled for me. Even Return of the Jedi, all the stuff from Return of the Jedi got spoiled for me. Honestly, back then as a little kid, you kind of didn't mind, you're so excited. And just to see all the toys that have been out in the shops for like months beforehand, you were just so excited to see all that on screen. It didn't matter whether you knew that whose father was who, or whose sister was who, or who was bumming whose brother's auntie's uncle.
Nice.
Honestly, just seeing everything on screen and seeing the little clips you'd seen in the trailers and on the making ofs and all that stuff actually in the movie, and you're in there with it. Oh God! And the fact that it was on the small screen, not the big screen, didn't matter. It was just for a kid. It was just dream come true to see it. Magical moment, even if it was only on DVD, on video, not DVD. And yeah, I had all the like the toys and the figures and everything way before I saw the film, and I kind of made up my mind who all these characters were. Like, oh, he's the bloke that lives with Yoda. They've got like a mutual life partner relationship. Then Princess Leia is wearing that because she's going to bed because she's just had a shower. And Dengar, yeah, he had bad accident at the start of the film, and then later on he's just still in he's just come out of traction, and he's chasing down Han Solo later on. None of that was in the film. Didn't care at all. I still loved it, even though I'd made up half the film myself already. But yeah, that was my take on it anyway.
Okay, so what you're saying is between choice A, B, and C, you preferred
C.
A.
No. Let's
Yeah,
not,
I know which one you
let's
prefer.
not make things up, Mr. Brown.
Yes, I know which one you prefer.
And you didn't pick Debbie Does Dallas in the video shop.
It was a narrow outsider, to be honest. But I mean, Empire Strikes Back is always going to be second place to Return of the Jedi for me, because Return of the Jedi was kind of the one I saw before most other people that I knew. That's always going to be a special one, even though it's kind of a little bit muppified, but it doesn't matter. It's my favorite. It's always going to be my favorite. The best ships, the best fights, everything in it, all the new stuff, all the new hardware, characters. You just can't beat it. But Empire, I totally get it why people prefer this one over the other.
Probably in the chat, Return of the Jedi was my first Star Wars cinematic experience. Probably again, first time I saw Star Wars was when I was on the telly at Easter in 1980, and that was it. The toy collecting began in earnest. I fucked that up, but I think you understand what I meant. Okay.
I think everyone here did. Everyone here collected the toys. I'm guessing there wasn't one of us.
Oh yeah.
I think I had a couple of the Palitoy figures. Was it Palitoy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
With a cardboard backing. I had a couple of those.
Yeah, MC lived just down the road from where they made them.
Yeah, where I am now, the old Palitoy factory is not far from me, and occasionally they have Star Wars exhibitions there. Well, pre-COVID anyway. But yeah, it doesn't look much of a factory. It's just been turned into business units now, but it's just kind of sad. But there was a collectible shop near where I live, which isn't there anymore. But he said there must be tons and tons of old Star Wars toys in attics around this area, because people used to work at the factory and obviously had prototypes and things like that. So there's probably a small fortune sitting in somebody's house somewhere around there.
Yeah, because some of those can go for 300-400 quid if they've not been taken off the packet.
That's right, if not more. I know there was some in our local paper a couple of weeks back. Somebody got the Yak Face figure, which I think was from Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
And he bought it for 99p, and it sold for about, I can't remember, it was $2 or $4 grand, but it was a fair old bit of cash for it.
So what you're saying is we should look for like single elderly ladies in your area with no family, who might have worked at the factory.
That's right, yeah.
So you're going to become the Leicester granny molester, are you?
I think
Again,
the molester from Leicester.
There's a case to be made.
Well done. You can tell you're on radio. Yeah.
Excuse me, love. I notice you're pushing a shopping basket. Would you like me to take you home? Have you got an attic, love?
Gonna have a rummage around your attic.
Yeah. Can I have a fiddle around up there? Just have a quick look at your pipes.
I just want to have
Have you got any lagging, love?
mind if I get my fingers in your toy box?
Oh, it's been a long time since anyone's been up here. Oh, it's a bit dusty.
Yeah, you got some cobwebs on them flaps up there, love.
That's the snow speeder air brakes, I think.
In the chat, Milton Knowles insane Witch King. Hello, my friend. I'm sleepy, so I'm going to have to love and leave you guys. I'm completely fucking this up because I keep passing in and out of consciousness. If I wake up before the show ends, I might watch it. Get some sleep, mate.
Has anybody seen the Empire? Well, I mean, Swappers was the one that actually sent it to me, but the
Hello,
Empire
Captain.
Revisited is
Yes, it was me. It was me.
yeah, it was so much better than the original Empire. I mean, it is the same film, but the added effects makes it so much more enjoyable
amazing,
to watch.
They're amazing. And all those little extra bits they filmed for like Dagobah and stuff as well.
Yeah.
Like, some of them are blink and you'll miss it, but they add so much to it, and they're so well incorporated into the movie.
And the asteroid feel is so much better in that version than
so color correction and everything, just so good.
Yeah.
All right, okay, Ian. So do you think there's actually problems with the original then?
No. Well, effects wise, yes. But this guy, whoever he was, who did the revisited, is that his name, Adiwan?
Yeah.
Who did the revisited version, is so much better than the one that when George Lucas got to it and reshuffled a few things when he re-released it, it's so much better because it's so thoughtful of what he did. For instance, he did, the snow speeders. Okay, so when they're flying, when you see them flying,
fantastic.
You see the little flaps come up when it's taking a corner and stuff like that. So you know what I mean, right? So okay,
aerialons, whatever you call them.
Yeah. So basically, when you see the original film and they're flying and you see a shot from the cockpit, you don't see the flaps are meant to come up, aren't they? And you also the engines are meant to be at the back. Yes. Yeah, the engines are meant to be at the back of the shot that you see him in the cockpit, but it isn't in the original film. So Adiwan, whoever this guy is, he added that stuff in there, and it makes so much. It makes sense. The whole thing makes sense. He's added a lot of stuff in there. I mean, don't take my word for it. If you ever get a chance to watch that version, you'll be blown away, like I was when I first watched it. I was wow.
So you've just recently seen that then, by the sounds of it.
No, I saw it when Swapper sent it to me.
Yeah, same here.
Which was was last year? Was it last year?
Might have been,
last year.
Yeah.
I watched the Star Wars version this week.
That's good too. That's good.
Yeah, both are great, aren't they? Yeah.
I just thought I'm going to watch Star Wars on May the 4th.
Nice.
Yeah.
Been a while since I've watched it.
I tell you one thing though, I do like Empire for multiple reasons, many reasons. But one of the reasons why I like Empire, so I went to see it during COVID because it was re-released. I think it was 40 years or something.
Yeah, it was re-released for a few weeks. Yes, 40th.
Yes, I went to see it with Keith and my friend Alan, and we saw it in a big screen. And two things stuck out. One, the photography is absolutely brilliant in this film, and two, you're not bored watching it. I loved every moment of it, even though I knew what was happening. Yeah, it's terrific.
My first experience of Empire Strikes Back was I wasn't lucky enough to see it at the cinema because I just lived in the middle of nowhere and we never went to the cinema. So it was back in the good old VHS days, and having two VHS video recorders was quite handy, if you know what I mean.
Yep.
So I have seen this film in the early 80s a hell of a lot of times, and it's just so fucking good.
Do you remember when you used to record a movie? So you'd hire a movie from Blockbuster and you want to pirate it. So you record it, and then in the old days, what they didn't do is they got wind of what people were doing. They used to put a sticker between the gap, when it's screwed in the VHS. I used to put a sticker. So if you break that seal, the sticker would go all grey. So they know that you've unscrewed it. But before then, that's what we used to do. We used to unscrew it, take the tape out, and swap it with our copy, and put it in the other bit, and give it back to Blockbuster. So we'd have the original; they'd have our copy.
Bastard.
Yeah.
I will just say to the captain in the chat, MC he's being blooded as we speak.
Hell, Captain,
right here with us.
He's been blooded. Right, okay. So obviously, I've kind of done. We're doing this show on the fly a little bit. So I've been kind of thinking of some questions to ask.
Well, let's start from the beginning, shall we? It is a dark time for the rebellion. Although the Death Star has been destroyed, Imperial troops have driven the rebel forces from their hidden base and pursued them across the galaxy.
Ooh.
Evading the dreaded Imperial Starfleet, a group of freedom fighters led by Luke Skywalker has established a new secret base on the remote ice world of Hoth. The evil Lord Darth Vader, obsessed with finding young Skywalker, has dispatched thousands of remote probes into the far reaches of space.
And we don't know why he bothered, because everything was a waste of time. Palpatine came back, and Rey destroyed the whole of the saga. So there you go.
It was Palpatine all along.
No,
It was him all along.
It wasn't Rey who destroyed it. It was a mouse.
Yeah. She stole everything, though, didn't she, Z?
Yeah.
She stole everything. She didn't. She stole everything.
If it wasn't nailed down, it's gone.
She's nicked it, hasn't she? Millennium Falcon, having that fucker. Luke's six-wing, having that.
Okay. So I'll just ask then, guys. I'll just go through the panel then. Trev, why is this film so good or special to you?
Because it broke the mold of the genre, really, because, like I said before, you expect the good guys, the winning formula, and it just doesn't happen in this film. Everything goes pear-shaped, the wheels come off, and, somebody has to sleep in a tom-tom for half an hour.
Yeah, well, not half an hour, all night, wasn't it?
Bloody night, mate. How long the nights are, so yeah.
He went broke back in a tent with Han, didn't he?
I wonder how Han survived that. Yeah, he put his tent up, but that tent looked a bit flimsy, didn't it?
He must have used bodily heat to keep each other warm.
But he looks okay though. He didn't look messy with the tauntaun all over him, did he? When he was waving to the speeder that was coming towards him, he looked all right, didn't he?
Yeah, it's just a great film. Special effects, they were good, especially for the time. In ILM, we're trying out new things. And it's just around that era. So many good movies like Raiders, and that it was a magic era. For not just science fiction, but for the production techniques in Hollywood in general. A lot of that, in part, is down to ILM. So, God bless George Lucas for setting it up, basically.
Yeah, setting his own company up. Bridget Moore in the chat, Z3PO reading Star Wars better than Pornhub.
But it's true. I mean, you can see that George Lucas, he hated directing. He actually admits he hates directing, but for Empire and for Return of the Jedi, he was looking to develop his special effects, and I would probably go as far as to say he put things deliberately in those films so he can try and achieve a new visual effect. Because in this one, it was the walkers; in the next one, it was the speeders, wasn't it? The what do you call those things that were flying through the forest?
Speeder bikes.
It was that. When I saw that clip, I was like, "Wow!" Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, he was. I
think our channel's on the up because we're getting the look at them. The idiots are in.
Yeah,
3 on a row.
It was good. Whoever's deleting them, it's quite cool.
That's me. Mods.
Right.
Please, we must be on the up because the boring bastards are in. Anyway, okay. So, Z, why is this film so special?
It's just one that I've watched over and over again out of the 3. I love Star Wars. It's a great start. Jedi, not the greatest finish, but this one just hits all the right buttons in the right order for me, right the way through it. It's just such a masterstroke in storytelling. I didn't go into that film knowing that Darth Vader was Luke Skywalker's father. Spoilers. And that twist was just wow. That blew me away.
Yeah, it did.
It really did. I didn't see that coming.
MC, why is it so special?
I don't know. I guess it was the time when, like I say, I was really into Star Wars and nothing else really mattered apart from Star Wars, and like I say, the twist was amazing anyway. And we just saw a lot of new things that we'd never seen before in anything. The Tauntauns were amazing. The fact that it was on a snow planet was great for me because I love the winter and that kind of time of year anyway. But yeah, it was just fantastic. The effects were amazing. Lightsaber battles were good, better than Star Wars because obviously it was only Obi-Wan and Darth Vader being geriatrics at the time.
Yeah.
It was just a bit more action-packed as well. It was just epic. Can't really say anything bad about it particularly. And I think as well with the special editions, they didn't change a great deal of it, which just shows how good it was. I mean, they changed a few things in the background and obviously cleaned it up a bit, but I think it was just a top movie all around, and that's why I think it stands above the others for me.
Mega Geek, why is this film so good to you then? Why is it so special then?
Well, everybody said it really. It's a really good movie. It's you know, it hooks you from start to finish. I mean, it did as a kid, it did lull a bit when he went to see Yoda and he fought Darth Vader in the middle with the tree. But once that was passed, you know, with because it had so many surprising things in it. Like you got as MC says, you got the Tauntauns in the beginning, then you got the Walkers, which is something you've never seen. Then you've got him visiting Yoda, which I never thought that he was going to be a Jedi Master. Then after that, you've got what's his name, Han Solo being captured, tortured, then made into a ice lolly, as Trev would say, and then after that, you got Darth Vader as Luke's father. It just keeps punching you in the head until the ending when Boba and also you got these really cool moments in there, like Boba Fett and as I said, the Walker battle and the asteroid field thing, and really clever way how he got away from the Empire, which he pretended to be trash as they're throwing their trash away. Do you know what I mean? All these things were, in my opinion, new, and they're all very clever. And so the film kept punching you in the head. The last punch you got was, "I am your father," and it's like, what? Do you know what I mean? Yeah. I never believed it. After the film, I was like, he's lying. He's definitely lying. There's no way that Darth Vader is Luke's father. But how wrong was I? So
and also the fact that Luke could communicate with Leia somehow as well. That was a new thing that we hadn't seen before.
But then Yoda did say there is another, didn't he? Remember?
Yeah.
So,
and obviously
her.
Ben returned as well as a ghost. That was the first time we saw a Force ghost as well. That was quite epic. I don't think there was any. I mean, the only thing that I wasn't so keen on was the romance side between Han and Leia, which at 9 I wasn't that fussed about. I just wanted action and spaceships and
I don't know. I fancied Princess Leia in this film. You know, I just thought, oh, she was so gorgeous, and my sister fancied Han Solo because Han Solo was in his prime then, wasn't he? And she fancied him rotten in this film. Rotten. You know, and also I love those moments where, you know, the ship wouldn't start up and he'll hit it and then it starts up, and you know, all those little cute little moments in the film was fantastic. You know,
absolutely,
It was it was a sorry, Mark, but it was a rather confusing time for me. May I just interrupt and say I did quite fancy Princess Leia in this film. Carrie Fisher was the absolute goddess.
Yeah,
she was part of my very early sexual awakening, and
good for you.
I wanted to be Luke Skywalker. Still want to be Luke Skywalker, right? Sometimes I think I still am, and I was. I wonder why my hand goes stiff from time to time. But I'll get in there before Trev. That's all. And I was just very, very jealous of Han Solo because he actually got to give her a good face sucking in this movie.
He did, yeah, he did.
And then we only find out they're actually brother and sister in the next movie, and I was gutted because I thought, all right, damn it, come on, Luke, come on, you're still in there with a chance, son. Oh, it's all gone now.
I'll get you a banjo.
Yeah, but somehow she's always known.
Ooh. Yeah. Ooh. But the poster makes me laugh as well because the poster of Han Solo and Princess Leia, that's meant to be imitating that movie. What's it called? Gone with the Wind, isn't it? Yeah, Gone with the Wind. And as I said, it had so many classic moments in this film. The actual Empire March is fantastic.
Imperial March is incredible.
incredible
Just
piece
amazing.
of music, isn't it?
It is.
Incredible, absolutely incredible. And the Yoda theme is freaking awesome as well.
Yeah.
You know, it's just a really good movie, and they don't make them like this anymore. I hate to sound old, but they really don't make them.
They
Well,
don't.
we're all
They
old,
don't.
mate.
It was such a fantasy fairy tale, wasn't it? It was the epitome of fantasy fairy tale, but done with the sci-fi background. And the movie, this poster here, it evokes that so well. I think it's just like
Epic
the kind of
poster as well.
that dreamy kind of haze to it, hasn't it? You know, whereas it's not photos; it's actually beautifully rendered. And what we get these days with Disney, it's just like a photo laminate that you can find out on the pavement outside cash converters on a Saturday morning as you're walking through town. No one wants that shit. Well, this is what you want right here. You know, quality, attention to detail, passion. This is it's just beautiful.
There's also scenes like when the general says to Princess Leia, you know, it's getting worse. We have to shut the doors because obviously Han Solo hadn't report back in and Luke was missing. And then when they shut the doors, you know, old Chewbacca screams, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Because he's obviously scared that he'd lose Han.
Yeah.
And it's the emotion, even though he's like a big teddy bear.
Yeah.
And he screams, you actually feel for that creature. And then when C-3PO says, you know, don't worry, Master Luke I remember, I can't remember that line, and he goes from time to time, and he walks off, dare, oh dare, and R2 is concerned as well. You feel for them. Look, you feel for a tin can and a teddy bear. How crazy is that? Do you know what I mean? So that's how good the film was.
We were still getting used to liking Chewie after the first movie as well, because kids were kind of like, he's kind of nice, but he's a bit of a monster kind of thing. I don't quite know where I sit with him.
Yeah.
But in this movie, really kind of
was he naked though?
He was wearing that bandolier. He's wearing his bandolier. He's got some fucking.
He had his modesty belt.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it was this movie that kind of solidified the character in everyone's hearts, wasn't it? I think, like Ian says.
Yeah.
Romeo, Tango, November, Zulu. I think Carrie was pretty high on Pepsi for a lot of this movie.
She actually shagged Harrison Ford, didn't she? In this on the set,
yeah,
or somewhere on set, or whatever.
For it,
yeah.
Lucky
yeah, naughty boy.
Fucking.
Yeah.
Actually did get the princess.
He did, yeah. He did. But according to Disney Star Wars, he didn't get anything, did he?
Yeah.
Disney Star Wars, seriously.
Well, that'd have been amazing if she went, oh, Lone Star, get it in me, show me your Schwartz.
Yeah.
Because Ford would have been about 40, would he?
Near enough.
And Carrie Fisher probably early 20s.
Very young,
She was 24.
Wow.
Do you know?
But
I find her exceedingly hot in the Blues Brothers. She was.
Yeah, she is.
In that.
She is. Yeah. But it's even the male hero that's so prominent in Han Solo's character, you know, and when he gets on the Tauntaun and he goes like, "Your Tauntaun will freeze before," and he says that line, whether it is, "I'll see you in hell," do you know what I mean? It's like, you know, real hero stuff, you know. It's like, yeah, my friend's out there. Do you know what I mean? He's like, he's commanding, and he's, you know, unlike in the third one where he was a bit of a goofball. And even worse in the Disney version, but you know, Han Solo was the real, you know, true hero in this film. You know, I love you, I know, you know, and all that stuff. It's just
he was a bit Indiana Jones in that scene, wasn't he? When he's like, "See you in hell," he sort of runs off, like rides off like he's in a western or an indie movie.
Yeah,
so good. And you get like Han was such a rogue renegade kind of character as well. And the fact that he was wearing. I mean, it was only on screen when it appeared blue, but his Parker was blue, and everyone else's was just like cream or brown or whatever. And he was like, "No, I'm not having any of that shit. Give me the blue one." That's how it came across, and that's how he looked in the figures and in the action figures. But obviously, he was just wearing brown like everyone else. But it just helped the fact that the color grading in the final print like showed him as blue. It just helped show him as like this unique character that he wasn't. He didn't really know where. It was a brilliant sort of visual cue, unintended, of course, but he didn't really know where his loyalties quite lied. You know, he'd helped the rebellion, but he was kind of still out for himself maybe as well. You know, he's a bit of a lone ranger, so, you know.
Well, the thing that made it work so well was the relationship between Han and Princess Leia. Princess is obviously in love with him, and all Han
in real
wanted
life too.
All Han wanted is for her to admit it, for her to admit that she cares about him. You know, and he was very much in command. You know, she was very much confused, a cute, confused little woman. that was the first time she was having those feelings for someone other than the first time she had feelings. But as I'm saying, you never get that today. You never get a male commanding, a female character, because that's just not right, apparently.
Yeah, tragic.
So but he was very, oh my god, it sounds old fashioned. He was very manly in this film, if you know what I mean. Han Solo. Yeah.
It was the denim.
yeah.
What,
It was the gun.
Yeah.
It could have been high karate.
Yardley Gold.
Yeah.
Just looking at some of the Internet Movie Database stuff. Released 1980, May 21st. Budget 18 million.
You know that bit where Luke is walking, he just escaped the monster, and he's walking, and he can't walk anymore, and he falls, and that's when he sees Ben Kenobi. That was shot from the door of the hotel room. So inside, they opened the door, the cameras were inside the hotel, and they pushed poor old Mark Hamill out in a huge storm and shot that scene. He was just walking towards the door. So there you go.
Yeah, because didn't they have problems because Norway was in the middle of a snowstorm, and it was on the brink of going out of business, the film, wasn't it?
Yeah, but they that's goes to show, I guess Mark Hamill wouldn't have done it if he was a bigger star. They just said, "I'll get out in the snow. We need to have this shot," and Mark Hamill just obliged. You know what I mean? I guess if it was someone that was, had a load of pedigree, would have said, "No fucking way, you get a stunt guy to do that."
Yeah.
It's pretty good because the Echo-based troopers, they're all Norwegian mountain rescue skiers.
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah.
And not actually members of the cast. And go ahead.
I was going to say the reason why you didn't see much of the Wampa as well, because the guy in the suit kept falling over in the snow because the weather was so bad. So that you only saw a bit of it, like from the head and the arm coming in. That was it, because it was just too much to do a full man in costume. He just kept falling face first in the snow.
Do you ever see the making of when they got the second unit guy, and he's British, and he's got like a cigarette hanging out his mouth, and he's talking to the people, the soldiers with the gun. He's going, "Make it work, will you? Just go bang, bang, bang like that. Okay, what about you?" It's really weird.
It does look strange, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I've seen. I've seen shots of Han Solo as well. Harrison Ford running around, I think, for the first Star Wars, for New Hope, and he's running around just going bang, bang, bang with his gun as well, because they've obviously not got any sound effects, and he's just making his own noises, which sounds terrible on the making of. But
in the chat, Romeo, that was part of the original's brilliance. The chemistry between the three leads totally missing in the sequels.
Oh yeah, they tried to manufacture it, didn't they? They just it was sad.
Gonna miss my friends. Yeah, that bit.
I don't think, as we said last week, or was it on the Ruin stream, I don't think they had the opportunity to develop anything. I think they could have been probably not bad, but hammer blow, second film, hammer blow. No recovery from that.
Darth Vader's mask is completely different. Well, not completely different, but very different to the first Star Wars movie. You look at the mask they used in this one. It's I think it's more sleeker and it looks more shinier.
Yeah,
than
it looks better in this one.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
So Melvin kind of agrees with me. Daisy isn't a bad actress, and I think we've said that many times. She's not a bad actress. She just had nothing to work with.
No, it's not. It's not that. It's not that. She did have stuff to work with, but they
not enough.
KK changed everything. The Force Awakens, I liked it, but I was confused over it when I walked out of it. And the reason I was confused is because they didn't put the band back together again, obviously. Yeah. And then I thought it was going to happen in the second film, but KK completely destroyed the tone of Star Wars by putting her rubbish in. Yeah. And, I reckon if she didn't do that and left everybody to their own device, especially JJ, I think we would have had a better product at the end of the day.
Yeah. It's always a way with studio interference, isn't it?
Yeah.
In the chats, how does Carrie Fisher project so much charisma and she is likable compared to Rey when they are superficially alike?
Good point.
Because she fancied Harrison Ford. That was it.
All right, so it was like raw, oozing sex appeal coming out. She was on
Yeah,
heat, is what you were
she's got a
saying.
wide on.
Yeah. But
Genuine
also,
moist
she still,
chemistry.
yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
She still looked gorgeous with a different hairstyle. Because when I heard Empire Strikes Out was coming, I expected her to still have those headphones on her head, but she didn't. They gave her a different hairstyle, didn't they?
Oh, I love
the
those
earmuffs off.
plaits. Those plaits were just like, oh god, yeah. If I
Easy,
see a girl
easy.
with a hair like that now, I'm just, oh god, something triggers in me straight away.
Would that be a semi?
This is lightsaber igniting.
The lipstick starts coming. Yeah. Anyway,
I mean, how many times have we all said when when it's been snowing, I thought it smelt bad on the outside. How many times have we actually said that in the snow? A billion times, right?
Has anybody ever seen Yucko the Clown on YouTube?
No.
Negative.
Oh, no. You want to check that out because he starts chatting some women up. It's obviously a guy in a really bad clown costume. And when this young lady sort of gives him the brush off and he went, "Hey, it's like hot in January in your knickers."
I've just looked it up. I've got a compilation here. I'll watch that later.
Yeah, Yucko the Clown. It's sort of like a spin-off of Stankovision, if anybody's ever seen that.
Z, do you want to read this comment from the mighty Jacob Ironside?
You're not my friends. My friends are all dead.
Yeah.
Well done, Jacob.
But C-3PO was really good in this. He was quite funny in this film.
Yeah, great.
Panicking as well. Yeah, he does have some good. All of them were really used very well. All the characters were used very well in this film.
Even Landau.
Yeah, but Lando, you didn't know whether he was goodie or baddie, but at the end, then he proved himself that he was a goodie. Yeah, so there you go.
If you think about Lando, he was trying to do the right thing. For sort of the wrong reasons, because at the end of the day, like you said, he'd got the responsibility of everybody in Cloud City. And at the end of the day, the only reason he bargained with the Empire was to try and, I don't know, keep the status quo. So he kept everybody in Cloud City safe. So, yeah, while you couldn't weigh up what he was doing, it became apparent throughout the film that he really was a genuine, caring bloke.
But he also didn't know that Han and Luke were friends, because remember he goes, "Oh, they want this guy named Skywalker. They're not interested in you."
Yeah,
and it's like they know Skywalker. So
didn't Ford want out after this one?
He wanted him dead. Yeah, he wanted Han Solo dead because Harrison Ford's a bit of an arse, really. Let's face it.
He is.
Yeah.
Well, that's why he came back for The Force Awakens, wasn't it? So they killed him off.
Yeah.
He basically said, "No way am I going to play Han Solo again." And they gave him this huge check, and he said, "Okay." And
I'm going to buy a new airplane.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
and crash it on a golf course.
Yeah, that's why they put him in carbonite, wasn't it? Because they weren't sure what they're going to do with him.
Yeah, that's it.
So they just freeze him off and put him on the shelf for later and see what we're going to do when we come back with a new story.
I love how. Sorry, go ahead. Sorry. I love how Jeremy Bullock is shooting at himself. So he's Boba Fett and he shoots at himself, and he plays the guard as well. So
I saw that. I thought, that's him in the trailer. He's in the trailer as the guard. Yeah.
He appears as a pilot in episode 1, I think, as well. Later on, but they've sold his.
He was.
They've sold a lot of his memorabilia off recently, I think, the Jeremy Bullock collection. I saw in the news the other day, which was expected to fetch big money.
I bet it is. Melvin in the chat, I think Daisy didn't have a great charismatic connection with her co-stars because she had next to nothing in common with them in the real world.
Well, she needed to suffer. she needed to go through a journey like Luke did and Han did and Princess Leia did,
didn't she?
But she didn't. That's why you can't relate to her, because there was nothing you could relate to. She was good at everything, and she was dressed like a boy.
Yeah, she was the like five-finger discount merchant of the Jedis, wasn't she?
Yeah. Have you seen on YouTube? There's this little kid, that I think the mother made a costume for him on the what do you call that monster there? What Luke's on?
Tauntaun.
The Tauntaun, yeah. So basically, his mother made this costume for him as a Tauntaun. Obviously, his legs are in the legs of the Tauntaun, and his the false legs are on. It looked really good.
I remember
It
that.
looked really good. Yeah.
I know someone that did a pantomime horse ATAT for a fancy dress once.
Oh, did they?
Wow.
Yeah. In a small pub in Leicester.
Melvin in the chat follows his previous comment with Oscar Isaac. Clicked more with John Boyega because they were both minorities who had to pretend to be American to get some acting work. Both great actors, underutilized. Agreed, Melvin.
They were plans for them, weren't there? Were plans for Boyega's character to have the Force, and that was all thrown under the bus when KK and Roundhead Ryan came on board and just completely derailed what JJ had planned. Even before they were making Force Awakens, JJ had these big plans, but KK, slapped them down because it's all about women. Yeah, the Force is female. Blah blah blah.
It is, and then Melvin says again, agreed on Ford being a-hole. Han Solo shouldn't have been killed off. He could have carried the sequels, and then time profits. Harrison Ford treats his co-stars like his planes.
Well, he loved playing Indy.
Hello,
and he, a lot of people say he was fun on the Indiana Jones movies, but it's just that he had a hard time on Star Wars, didn't he? Because he wasn't being directed, and he always had that thing about George. He used to tease George on Star Wars, and George got lots of, he felt bad about himself because he couldn't direct the actors. The actors wouldn't listen to him.
He was into Indiana Jones, though, wasn't he? You could tell he was into it.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why he didn't want to direct anymore, was because he found directing very taxing, and he wasn't very good at it. He admits that he's a great businessman, though. And he's a great producer and a great businessman. So.
In the chat, since the Force went female, it also got a bit rubbish.
Couldn't be related at all, could it?
The one thing about is he doesn't pull punches with his gems of knowledge. Moving on.
Well, you can see that Z would agree with me. You can see that they gave Anthony Daniels a different costume here. So if you look at the first Star Wars, everything was hard, like from the breastplate to the shoulder plates to the arm thing that's connected to his arm. They were very made of, I think, hard plastic. And in Empire, if you look closely, it was made of rubber, so it would bend with his arm, the arm plates and stuff. So he wasn't so constricted. He could move, especially the arse bit. I don't know if you notice when he's walking, the arse bit. You can see that it's basically made of foam. It's not made of hard plastic like in the original film.
Yeah.
And I think he mentioned that. He mentioned that he was far more comfortable in this version of 3PO than he was in the Star Wars movie. So,
in the chat, hello, Outcasts Creative. Nice to see you, my friend. I have no issue with a female lead. I don't think any of us have, to be honest. Just give her some depth. This kind of it's like with Doctor Who. We had no issue with a female lead, but I think just give her some depth.
Yeah, she just has to be likable, relatable, and you have to sympathize.
Yeah.
This is it. Well done, mate. Make her suffer defeat and feel some sense of loss before she shit hot at everything. Yeah. The only thing that Rey was shit hot at was stealing.
Stealing shit. Yeah. I don't know, mate. As I said, Empire's a great movie.
Time Profits. This one's for you, Z. Wasn't C-3PO the first gay robot?
Oh, no, sir. I will indeed fuck anything.
That was
But I think
WD-40, wasn't it?
The thing is, though, it's only because of his voice, isn't it? Really is, and the way he portrayed it.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if he was gay or not. Who knows?
It's just supposed to be a polite butler bot, isn't he? And it just comes
Yeah.
across as being a bit camp. That's all, I suppose.
Yeah.
You on about the first gay robot? I reckon that was Dusty Ben.
What? Who? Ted Rogers?
Yeah.
That thing never used to do anything. It just used to roll on. So I think somebody kicked it on screen. I think it just rolled on. That's all it used to do.
Oh, with today's special effects that you can get on an app, I'd love for someone to like just put Dusty Ben in R2's place in all the Star Wars. That'd be fun.
It probably already has been done, to be fair.
Yeah, it might have been. Yeah.
What about Metal Mickey?
Yeah, but C-3PO
Yeah.
is Metal Mickey.
Yeah.
He weighs a half a ton. He's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So, guys, right, my next
Was it
question.
Beryl Reid in that?
Yes. No.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't. It was the other.
No,
one.
Irene Handel.
Irene,
that's
that's
it.
it.
Yeah.
Brown, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so my next question, we'll start with you, Swappers. Best scene for you in this film?
Jesus Christ, Brown. Oh my God. What? How the?
There's two scenes that stand out. Come on.
I don't know. I mean, it's tough for me to top anything to do with the Battle of Hoth.
Yeah.
Just Christ Almighty, you know. I mean, talk about reaching another level with action and sci-fi, and it wasn't in space anymore. You know, it didn't. It like so many films are about space and spaceships and stuff, and this brought it down to the ground into kind of an environment that we could relate to with snow and stuff. And it's
Full
like,
ticket
this
form as well.
yeah, this hasn't been done before. Shit, you know, look at these amazing, cool ships the rebels have got, and look at the fucking walkers. It's like, God, you know, it's like an orgasmic moment, isn't it? And that goes on for like 10, 15 minutes. Just how do you beat that? It's just, I mean, it's not a scene, but the section of the film, and the film just keeps, it never loses quality after that point. You think, how can it top this? You know, and it never loses its momentum and its level of quality. But it's very, very tough to try and think. There's so many bits, like the bit with Luke on Dagobah when he first lands, and the kind of place is full of mystery and this kind of big sort of swampy planet, and it's kind of scary but like kind of wonderful at the same time. And you got the whole Bespin bit with Han being tortured in the cryogenic chamber. You got the fight with Luke and Vader. I mean, God, how do you choose between all those? You know, I honestly, I don't think I can choose the best scene.
Like choosing favorite child.
Yes, exactly like it is. I mean, one of the if I had to pick an image, I would say my favorite image is of Luke and Vader in that carbon freezing chamber background with the blue kind of tinged steam everywhere and the orange lights and that kind of contrast and the shadow and the shadows and silhouettes and Luke's blue lightsaber and Vader's red, just utterly iconic imagery. So for me, I just have that inches it over of all the other bits. But my God, how do you choose? I mean, even the Exogorth in the asteroid, you know, it's just amazing.
In the chat, Outcast Creative, I love you, I know.
Thanks, Brown.
Improvised as well, great scene.
Yeah, yeah.
I prefer the Family Guy version.
How did that one go again?
I love you. Fuck off, I think he says.
But it was Harrison Ford that came up with the idea.
Yeah, right on the scene.
In the chat, it has to be I am your father.
Oh God, yeah. God, I mean, jeez, that's the pinnacle of the iconic moments in the entire trilogy, I think, isn't it?
Sad anorak fact, Matt. Just relating on to something else you like. You know the Battle of Hoth music by John Williams? Yeah. An Italian group did a cover of that, like a dancey version, and it's called Miko, Battle on the Snow. And that was actually robbed and used in Ulysses 31, and DIC got sued by Lucasfilm.
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Romeo, best scene, easily, I am your father.
They ought to redub it for Yorkshire. Hey up, I'm their dad.
I'm
your father.
I'm the father. Outcast Creative. My mate Alan
The
was
thinks they're
director.
hard, Luke, but they're not a Jedi yet, you.
My mate Alan was art director on Empire Strikes Back. Told me of all the stories of filming in Norway. Wow.
That's impressive.
Wow. Right, who am I asking next? So, Swappers, we didn't really get a favourite scene then, did we? It's just basically all of them.
The film. That was it.
Yeah. So, basically, your favourite scene is the film. Okay.
Yeah.
Ian, favourite scene?
Well, but two scenes. I have two favorite scenes. Obviously, the battle on Hoth and the asteroid field. Well, the asteroid field was very, very well done, but it was also very exhilarating scene as well, and lots of little jokes in there. You know, the famous line, "Never tell me the odds." You know, fantastic. You know, that thing with the bit where they find out they're inside a monster rather than inside a asteroid. You know, it's all those two scenes for me. They stand out action wise. They stand out. But as Swapper says, it's the whole film really. You can't really fault the film at all.
So good.
Yeah, you can't. I just think this film is just a marvelous piece of art, personally, and I think it should be celebrated as such. I know there's snobbery in Hollywood that thinks this is just a kids' film, or you know, it made a lot of money so it doesn't deserve anything else. But fuck that. This is a piece of art that should be celebrated.
Do you think Kirshner took it to the next level then?
Yeah.
No. Well, the thing is though, they had a solid script. They had great ideas. They had the weight of ILM behind them, the newly formed ILM behind them. They were trying something new. And plus, they were all going out on a limb, especially George Lucas. He was taking the brunt when it came to money. Plus, this is an independent film, would you believe?
It is.
Yeah, it is. You know, it is not financed by any studio of any kind.
George.
It's distributed.
George paid for it.
Yeah. It's distributed by studios, but it doesn't belong to them. And George took a huge risk, and the risk paid off. You know, so it's just such a great movie because there was passion behind it.
Yeah.
See, there's the difference right there.
Right, everybody.
Passion,
Everybody.
Passion,
everyone.
folks. You heard it. Passion.
Yeah. And so when you compare Empire Strikes Back to what you call it, say Roundhead's film, you know that he was doing it to prove a point. You know, they were putting the politics crap inside there that women cannot be taught, or women are strong, whatever, and that's got nothing to do with passion or story building or anything. So that's the difference between Empire Strikes Back, which is the second of the trilogy, compared to the Disney trilogy.
Yeah,
they were doing it for the wrong reasons.
In the chat, Outcast Creative, I'll get the interview we did with Alan Tompkins up online.
Nice. That'd be
wow.
cool. Love to see that, mate.
Wow.
Yeah, send us the link to that. Wow. Awesome.
MC, favourite scene?
Well, I'm a bit like Matt, really. It's the whole movie to a certain extent. I mean, just from the point where you see the probe droids coming out the Star Destroyer and landing on Hoth, it's like, wow, this is amazing. What's going on? The snow speeders. But yeah, I think Hoth, the attack battle is obviously one of the strong points. The asteroid scene is good. I think also for me, the scene where they're in Cloud City and they go into the room where Vader and Fett are in there. And it's the first time you see them, and it's just like, whoa, that's the first time you see them actually sort of face to face, as you know, goodies and baddies, which you haven't seen in the other films particularly. You've seen them from a distance, but they're actually in the same room together, and you think, what's going to go on? But
that's a scary moment, isn't it? It's a really scary moment.
Yeah,
you really
when you're a kid.
Yeah.
And obviously the battle between Luke and Vader as well was just, you know, amazing because you think Luke's trained, but obviously he's not. But
impressive.
But he's not a Jedi yet.
Most impressive.
But yeah, pretty much the whole film, really. I don't think there's many bad parts. I mean, say the romance bit was a bit boring as a 9-year-old, but you know, I can live with that.
Yeah.
Starts off when he says, "What if he doesn't survive? He's worth a lot to me." Remember that line?
Absolutely, yeah.
Whereas
now he's a pussy.
Boba Fett, because that's bloody amazing.
Z, obviously you was in this film, so you are very up and personal with this.
I am, yes. I have one particular scene which I like, which is the one where I say, "Oh, they've encased him in carbonite. He should be quite well protected. If he survived the fusing process, that is."
Well, Corisian, did he survive?
This is because it is the first time since episode 3 that I've been together with Master Anakin.
You were strapped to Chewbacca's back with no legs.
Yeah, how did you feel about losing your legs? How did that feel?
Ah, I've been legless many times, sir.
That's a good point. So, did Vader recognize C-3PO or not, or what?
Oh no, sir. He's quite a racist. All our droids look alike.
Speaking of that, I think we are going to be covering Obi-Wan weekly.
God, no, thank you.
Joy.
No, thank you.
Oh, joy.
Not watching that. Bait and switch coming. Not watching it.
I think I'm going to get Ruin to present each week.
Oh my god, that'll be good though. That will be good.
I watched the last trailer for Kenobi, and there were, I think it's 12 in total, separate clips of ethnically diverse space Nazi.
Come good, obviously.
Who's obviously going to turn out to be the good guy in the end and responsible for keeping Kenobi and Luke Skywalker alive. Luke wouldn't be alive if it wasn't for her. That's exactly how it's going to go.
Yeah, you know it.
Melvin Deeply, nearly missed this. Sorry, Melvin. Empire was so good, partly because George had been working on the story for years. It wasn't written by a sad excuse for a fan with no talent to his name, and the director wasn't a sci-fi director.
Yeah.
And then Melvin says, "I believe Empire was Kirshner's first sci-fi."
Wow. It was, yeah. It was, sorry, go ahead. No, go ahead.
No. Well, I was just going to say it's a shame he fucked RoboCop 2 up, but there you go.
Well, it wasn't his fault. You see, the thing with that is now again, it's the producers that screwed that up because they had a decent script from Frank Miller,
toy friendly,
and they basically they wrecked it, and then he obviously signed, and then they actually changed the whole concept of it, and he was left with with the script that he had, and he had to direct it because he was contracted to. Yeah. So,
cheers.
It wants a sad fact.
Always,
a member of the RoboCop 2 cast goes in my local.
Excellent.
Yeah, I know it is as well.
Yeah. You know the scene outside OCP Tower where all the reporters and stuff are trying to get a quote out of the old man?
I know where this is going.
Yeah. The guy stood next to Lisa Gibbons, who she was married to at the time. You remember Chris Quinton, who was Brian Tilsley in Coronation Street?
Top trivia, folks.
Yeah. And we pressed him about this in the pub, and he said he was in 3 and not 2, so good memory.
Wow. So, young Trevor...
He still had this blonde permed mullet, didn't he, in that movie?
Right, this is an interesting fact. He comes in the pub, and he makes a J2O last 3.5 hours. It's funny.
That's a talent, that is.
And I'm normally legless after about an hour and 15 minutes.
Time Prophet, I remember Brian Tilsley, yeah. He got killed, didn't he? He got knifed or something.
He got stabbed,
yeah. So, Trevor, your favourite scene?
Well, it's a combination of 3, really. I mean, to start with, Matt, you bastard, you sank my battleship on that department. So, yeah, it's a combination carbon freeze scene.
That's good,
the whole I love you, yeah, I know. Show us your tits before I get frozen. No tits, flashes of gash. No, okay. Also, obviously, the next scene I like is in the carbon freeze chamber again. It's obviously Luke and Vader confrontation. It's just fucking amazing. That if you were to pick a top 10 of like sci-fi movies, that part and I Am Your Father, they have got to be like the most iconic bits in sci-fi history, because the amount of it's so dynamic. that scene. It gets very tense, and it builds up, and then all of a sudden, oh, what colour knickers have you got on? You know, it's that kind of.
On 1 hour 30.
Yeah, but it's just so good how it goes. It is honestly the whole scene. It's just from start to finish. It's just fantastic. Who's chuckling?
That's me. Sorry.
All of us.
Fuck you.
All of us, mate.
I've had your mother.
I think the Luke I am your father is probably an iconic scene in cinema history, never mind sci-fi history. I think it's just one of those twists that
There's some kind of Mandela effect linked with that scene.
Yeah, I think there is. I think there's people think it's Luke, I am your father, but it's no, I am your father. Yeah.
Only was it only like 2 people knew about that scene? Is that correct?
Yeah.
It was last minute, apparently. They weren't even going to go that route.
I think wasn't it only James Earl Jones knew about it because obviously he had the line to say, but nobody else knew.
And the guy recording the lines.
The original line was Obi-Wan killed your father.
Right.
And then it was dubbed over, obviously, in post.
Oh, okay.
Can you imagine that? Oh, God, I can't remember his name now. Oh,
Dave Prowse.
Cross Code Man.
Oh, yeah, Dave Prowse.
Yeah, Dave Prowse. Because he recorded the dialogue originally. In the
I was just thinking the same.
All right there, Luke, you bastard. I'm your father.
Obi-Wan killed your father.
Yeah, Obi-Wan didn't tell you what really happened to your father. No, I am your father, you bastard.
I am a cider drinker.
Romeo in the chat. According to Robert Meyer Burnett, Star Wars is fantasy, not Star Wars. Or not sci-fi, would that be?
Maybe it should be Star Trek, I don't know.
Do you know, I've just thought of something, me going on about Dave Prowse. Has anybody seen that dub of Vader where he's Brick from Snatch or Lock, Stock? Which one is it? Have you seen that one?
Oh, yeah, Brick Top from Snatch.
Yeah. It's going, all right, Turkish, you send the boys. Oh, it's just magic. Oh, I tell you what was good, what Matt shared with the group the other day. That Star Wars spoof with Schwarzenegger and Luke, the Terminator Star Wars thing.
Yeah.
That was fantastic.
That was so well done.
The voices were a bit dodgy, though. I reckon I could have done it a bit better.
You probably could.
You're a professional, though, aren't you?
Yeah, but I thought about re-recording the lines of Sean Connery and of Arnie and sending them to the guy.
Yeah, do it.
I think that'd be quite funny.
You've got the gear to do it.
Yes. I came home yesterday and all my books were on the floor. I blame myself. Come on, do it. Let's go to IKEA. Come on, let's do it right away. Come on, screw me. Come on, get your drill out. What are you waiting for?
I will remind everybody, Critical Drinker is on here next week, and we are reviewing Predator.
Excellent.
Do you know the best line out of that film? Billy, man, you know something. I'm scared, Poncho. Bullshit, Billy. You ain't afraid of no man. I love that bit. It ain't no man. We're all gonna die. Wasn't Sonny Landham a former porn star?
Pass.
Probably.
Romeo, we know what you meant, mate. No need to, fucking autocorrect, motherfucker, isn't it? Okay, we know what you meant, mate.
I'm not trumping, by the way. My chair's squeaky.
And it looks like Time Profit will be on Best Behaviour next week. Thank you, my friend.
Critical. Is it Critical Drinker? Is he in? Is he?
Yeah, we might get 15 viewers next week.
16.
17, perhaps. Okay, so
you need to advertise. Oh, sorry, you need to advertise yourself a bit better. You need to, actually let people know what you're doing, and then we can all retweet it for you, and we'll try and make it go viral.
Yeah, as
Don't
stuff
know.
going on in the background this week. Sorry, mate.
I know you have, mate. I know you have.
Creative. I found the interview with Alan. Mr. B will get it re-edited and up online as soon as I can. We'll let you guys know when it's online.
Oh, yes. Thank you very much.
That will be fantastic. Maybe what we should do at some point is...
I've trumped.
I need to as well. What maybe we should do at some point is, obviously, because this was a show where, as I said, I've got stuff going on in the background. Easy, boys and girls.
Oh, Jesus. I'm going to open the door.
We should maybe cover this a little bit more in depth at some point with slides and make more of a presentation.
Yeah, we'll do it of the Addy One special edition. I think that'd be a good idea.
Obviously, this was in kind of honor of May the 4th, which isn't really Star Wars Day, is it, Swappers?
No, but any excuse, eh?
Yeah.
My daughter's birthday.
Yeah. So what is the date?
25th.
25th.
My birthday, innit?
Yeah.
Is it?
Matt's birthday, yeah.
Are you out on the piss that day or working?
No, probably not. I'll probably. Oh God, yeah. As luck would have it, probably bloody working. Yeah.
Yeah, but you'll be working, and just make sure you get drunk and try and shag that girl you fancy where you're working. try and get her in the old cupboard.
Matt, what you need to do is watch Animal House, especially the supermarket scene. That might help you out a little bit there.
Bit of inspiration.
Just tell it's your birthday and you need a shag. That normally works.
Matthew, try and get that night off.
Or try and get knickers off. That'd be better.
Not the night.
Get knickers off, we'll let you off. But yeah, just get something off. Yeah.
Would you like me to get in your knickers, love? No, thanks. I've already got one arsehole in there.
Well, she's married though, isn't she?
Oh, no, just how he likes them.
She's separated a few years ago.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah.
Well, maybe it's time to get the cobwebs off.
Did she used to work at the Palatoy factory?
No, she used to be a bus conductress, but she's going to let Matt go all the way for 40p.
And a bag of chips.
What fare is 40p anymore? God.
Well, that's just for the doors, the flaps to open, isn't it, really?
It's turning into a Carry-On movie. That's what it's turning into.
It is. Yeah, it's Trevor, that is. In
I wonder
the
if
chat.
the conductor enforces whether you go in or out the back set of doors.
Easy, boys.
Well,
easy,
take your pick
easy.
these days, can't you?
Oh, you stay away from my back doors.
No, matron, no.
Romeo in the chat. I'm promoting next week's stream on a Facebook fan page for the Drinker.
Yeah,
mostly Americans. Might pull in some more punters. Hopefully, we might get 20 instead of Drinker. When he does this, he gets about 8 million.
Right. The rest of the panel who were on Twitter, I think we should push and plug next week's show for Brown and try and get as many people as possible to come in and check out the stream next weekend.
Well, what are we talking about next week anyway?
Predator.
Predator.
Oh, Predator. Okay.
Yeah.
Predator.
But we've got the Drinker.
Don't know.
The newest version of Predator. The woke
what?
No. No. We're doing Predator 1986.
7.
7, yeah.
Get to the... Sorry.
7.
Come on, get to the chopper.
But I will say this, you know what, right? Personally, right, if it's just... it would be nice to have some numbers in. But I think the whole point of doing this at the moment is it's the same guys who turn up every week in the chat. They're all fucking awesome. You lot are awesome. You know, if other people want to come to the party, great. But we'll just have a fucking good time anyway.
It's just great to have the regulars in, isn't it?
Yeah, this is the pub for us guys.
Yeah.
You know when they do people do impressions of a predator, they never say "he can't see me," because that's the line I came away with. Remember when he's covered in mud and
Really?
the predator couldn't see him?
I
That was the
can't-
line he says, isn't it?
I
He
can't
can't
that-
see me.
My favourite line in that neck of the woods is "bleeding bastard."
Yeah, that's a good one too. That's a good one. That's
I
a really
came
good
out of
one.
that movie going, "Geez, you got a big pussy."
No.
Pussy.
You've been pushing pencils. Remember that as well. When
What's
he's
the
got
matter, Dylan? The CIA got you pushing too many
pushing
pencils.
pencils.
Come on, Dutch, make it easy on yourself. Come
Are
on,
we-
Dylan.
Are we going to have a drinking game next week?
Yeah,
Who knows?
definitely.
You should do because of the drinkers on it. Yeah, why not?
Don't know.
I've got a bottle of Johnny Walker Black I've been saving.
In the chat, Time Prophet, I am awesome.
Yes.
We know. You are, mate.
He
we
also
know.
said that Jean-Claude Van Damme was supposed to be in Predator.
He was, yes.
He was in Predator very, very shortly as the
Very
Predator.
shortly, yes.
But he had a bit of a strop and walked off, didn't he?
He did, yeah. What's that line that Arnie says? You're one ugly. What was the line?
You are an ugly
You
motherfucker.
one ugly motherfucker.
sounds like a
hell are
gay
you?
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah.
Come
So,
on, I'm
next
here,
week,
right here.
Predator.
Come on, kill me.
Yeah, I like that
love
line
that.
as well.
I know.
So funny.
What are you waiting for?
Melvin Deeply. Melvin is relatively new to this channel. Space Hunter Adventures in the Forbidden Zone has been
Is
mentioned.
that the one with Molly Ringwald in it?
Yes, has been mentioned. And is it Peter Krause? Has been mentioned many
It's on
times.
Amazon Prime as well.
Yeah.
Is it?
So if anybody wants
Excellent.
to check it out.
I saw it at the cinema in 3D.
Or
Nice.
if you had a bit of a fiddle on the back row, you'd probably come away with VD.
No, that was Police Academy 4. Anyway.
Oh, I got in trouble this week.
Really?
I got a copy of the Police Academy soundtrack, and there was a bonus track on there, and I used it to talk over, and it was the theme tune to the Blue Oyster Bar, and I got
I actually been to that place. It's in Canada. It's called the one. It's called the $1 bar. Yeah, it's called the $1 bar. So
I'd buy that
actually,
for $1.
yeah, actually,
Well,
yeah,
will it be $2 now? Considering
probably.
everything's gone
I don't know.
up, yeah.
Yeah.
Is it a gay bar?
Gay
No,
bar,
it's not.
gay
It's
bar.
not. It's not in real life. It's just an ordinary bar. Yeah.
Melvin, I still have the Space Hunter 3D specs. Was it 3D, the kind of red and green?
No. Yes.
Yeah, it wasn't a great 3D.
Can't remember when the BBC
Like the
and
old-fashioned
ITV
comics.
tried to do 3D
Yeah.
TV back in the day, and you had to either get the radio times or the TV times to get your glasses.
That's right.
But we couldn't afford to buy 3 copies because
Or the TV.
my brother ended up, one of my older brothers, he ended up with the 3D glasses. So we had to have Quality Street, the rappers. And we tried making the zone. It was atrocious.
Oh my god, that's great.
The film was still shit though.
We've got an
Just imagine
instruction.
You guys all sat there with like sweet rappers over
Quality
your
Street.
shoulder.
Well, you know how they like crinkly? You couldn't get the fucking crinkles out.
But in theory, it would still work though.
Yeah,
but
was it like watching it
that
through a
cowboy
broken window?
He looks a bit deformed. What's he doing? Because they're both westerns, if you remember.
Fucking hell.
Yeah. I remember that.
Time Prophet in the chat, you need to review Star Crash 1978.
That's
Almost
Hasselhoff's
good.
in that.
Yes,
Yeah.
he is.
Is it
Yes.
Caroline Munro as well?
Yes, she was
Yeah.
the star because I think
Yeah.
her husband was producing it or something like that. Directing
I
it
will
or-
say, Time
Fabulous.
Prophet. Then, if you want us,
Oh,
if you
God,
want
another
us
one.
to, yeah, no, okay. Let me get rid of this knobhead.
Yeah. Time out. Third step up.
Yeah. Time Prophet, if you want us to review that, we are kind of looking for associate producers. The rule is if you watch a film and do screen grabs of the film as you're watching it, I'll do the rest.
I've got an idea for a film review. Yeah.
It's not Spunker, is it?
No, it's not. It's not non-stop Spunker. No. How about? And I don't know if you've already done it. I might have missed the boat here.
Probably.
Buckaroo Banzai.
Oh yeah.
Oh, Peter Weller.
Yeah.
It's
And
an old
Jeff
film.
Goldblum and Ellen Barkin and who else
We
is
haven't.
in it?
See,
Christopher Lloyd's in it.
I used to get mixed up between Buckaroo Banzai, that other one that we had. What was that other one that mentioned with Molly Ringworm in it? I can't remember what that was.
Space Hunter.
So that's
Space Hunter and Metal Storm as well. Remember Metal Storm?
I always used to get mixed up with Buckaroo Banzai and the toy Buckaroo. So
Yeah, one's a donkey, the other one's a donkey
one's
with
a
an
horse.
elastic band up its arse.
yeah.
Hey, have you ever
Time
seen that
Prophet.
picture online of Operation with the chest burster coming out of him?
Operation, yeah,
No.
I've seen that. Yeah.
Time Prophet in the chat says, I can do screen grabs easy in VLC.
What's that other one? Is it OBS? That does it, doesn't it?
No, that's the
No,
streaming
VLC,
software.
VLC or anything really.
Video
you can do
LAN,
you can do
video.
screen grabs
Yeah.
from your desktop and just
Um,
play the film. You can do
so
that as well.
So I will say, guys, if, as I said, if any of you watch a film and you want us to add it to the bank of films, that kind of takes the pressure off doing the stills and stuff. So there is an email address on my channel description. If you just send us an email, and then we can get the ball rolling, as it were. That would be very, very, very helpful. So okay, so Melvin says Star Crash as a 3.9 on Internet Movie Database.
Excellent.
Quality movie.
Quality.
Which one's worse though? This one or Battle? Was it Battle Beyond the Stars?
That's all right.
Beyond the Stars.
No.
It's great.
It's got no. That's not the real name. It's Space Tits with Handlebars.
Space Titties, yeah.
It was basically Magnificent Seven, but
It was,
or
yeah.
even Seven Samurai.
I'll just tell you the Internet Movie Database rating for Star Wars Episode 5: The Empire Strikes Back is 8.7 out of 10, 1.2 million votes. I rated this, and I'll ask you guys, we'll get a rating from the chat as well. I rated Star Wars Empire Strikes Back. I gave it a 9 out of 10.
Yeah, that to be fair, that's yeah. That's a
Trevor, what mark out of 10 do you give this film? Throw it open to the chat as well. Marks out of 10, boys and girls.
You don't listen, do you? I just
Sorry,
told
did you say something?
I agree with you, and it's a 9, you doink.
Again, did you say something?
Oh, suck your
So,
balls.
Trevor, 9 out of 10. Okay, well,
Yes.
well done, mate.
I said
Z,
9, motherfucker.
I'm assuming Z is going to give this 10 out of 10. Z, go on.
Oh, I'm going to give this 10 out of 10, sir, because I'm in it.
Oh, yes.
No, but
Time
it's a solid 9, though, isn't it?
It is.
It's
Time
a
Profit.
rock solid 9.
9.6 just to annoy people. So that's 9. Well done, mate. MC.
Yeah, 9.5, I think, for me.
We don't do points.
Oh, all right, 9 then.
Nil poir.
No, 9. Definitely a 9.
Ian?
9. No film's perfect, right? And but
Except
this film is
Megaforce.
close. You know what I mean? So you go.
Would you actually ever give a film? Obviously, no film is perfect. You're quite
No.
correct. But would you ever give a film 10 out of 10?
Yeah, there are loads of close ones like Close Encounters and E.T. and films of that ilk, in my opinion. But I don't think there's any film you can actually give a 10 out of 10. Or can you? I don't know.
I think I personally think if you have a real deep emotional connection with it and kind of, that might be just that extra little push to go over.
I don't
no
know.
film is perfect. That's how I feel.
I don't think any film is perfect, to tell you the truth. But I wouldn't give a film 10 out of 10 unless it's without a shadow of a doubt the best film made throughout all of the categories connected with making movies, if you know what I mean. And I don't think there is a film that equals that, if you know what I mean. So,
I've given off the top of my head, I think RoboCop is 10 out of 10. It's not perfect, but
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, in other words, you wouldn't give it 10 out of 10 because 10 out of 10 means perfect. You just said it wasn't perfect.
I've
So
given
it'd
it
either
the
be 9 or 8
I've given it the extra points
because of you're connected to it.
because it's a kind of a life moment film for me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, fair enough.
Swaps.
Oh, yeah. No film's perfect, obviously, yeah. But for me, personal opinion-wise, I'd give it a big, long, fat, hot, juicy, steaming 10.
I thought you were going to say turd.
See, here you go. Time profit.
God, somebody's moist in here tonight.
well, what Time Prophet says Robocop is perfect.
Did
but
you just say Robocock?
It isn't really, is it? Let's face
You rang.
Is it?
You did, didn't you? Ian, you said Robocock.
No, that's your filthy mind, Trevor.
Sure you did. Show you that Robocock's not perfect. Well, hang on, make sure you're on about the right film. Is Robocock any good?
No, it's not actually.
Is your cock any good?
It's not
Is
any.
it like Cock Trek 3, The Search for Cock?
It's fully functional, sir. I can assure you that much.
Oh, in
It's
multiple
oiling,
techniques.
doesn't it?
Yeah.
So there you go. No, I don't think Robocop's perfect. I mean, you just got to look at some of the technology that they used in that film. It ain't
good.
perfect. It's good. It's a good film. Yeah, it's a good film. I do like it.
Oh dear. MC
Melvin
makes a very good point in the chat. Olivia Wilde.
Yeah, I know. Melvin, I don't think there ever was a 10 out of 10 movie.
No.
Well, I totally agree, mate. I give Pulp Fiction 9.5.
Well, Time Prophet says he'll give it -5 out of 10.
But Pulp Fiction is a good film, apart from that stupid beginning of that story with Bruce Willis when they were talking in the bedroom for like 2 hours. It felt just kept talking. That let the film down for me.
The Romeo. Oh. Sorry, Trev. Go on.
The best scene in that is, we'll bring out the Gimp.
Yeah, that's good.
Gimp's sleeping.
Well,
you're just gonna have to wake him up now. I love that bit.
Yeah, it's because you got sexually excited by it.
No, I didn't know what a Gimp was at the time.
Well, none of us did.
No, I know.
To be fair.
Oh, I did.
Well.
Oh. Well, whatever floats your boat, Z.
Romeo. I give this one 9 out of 10. A great film against which others are to be measured. One of the GOAT sequels.
Yep.
GOAT.
Greatest of all time.
All right. I thought it was some kind of fetish.
Yeah.
In a time where men are men and sheep are worried.
Yeah.
In a world where sheep dip. I can't go any further than that one.
How would you ascertain the difference between Wales and post-apocalyptic Wales?
So you won't. Both the same.
There'd probably be less population in one of them. Other than that, it'd be the same, I would say.
Well, there's 2 less Wales, isn't there? Because they got beamed up in 1986.
That is true,
Indeed.
actually.
Indeed.
I actually thought Scotty and Kirk were at a disco. Admiral, there'll be Wales here.
That's a very good movie, though. Apart from the music, it sucked in that film. Music sucked.
Do you know something? If James Horner would have done the music for 4, that would have been perfect. Because those 3 films essentially are a trilogy.
They are.
And they just
an organic trilogy.
Leonard Nimoy did that, and he did his own thing. But if, like I say, if they had James Horner continuing with the soundtrack, you've got Goldsmith doing the first one, Horner doing the next 3. I think James Last did Star Trek 5.
No, but it's what is it? It was Leonard Nimoy. He was the one that insisted that guy.
Yeah, he wanted a different feel.
Guy did the music. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was the worst music from a Star Trek film ever, wasn't it? It was just
in fact,
terrible.
If you do doing a swap the music from Star Trek 5, swap it with 4. And then Star Trek 5 can be like the perfect crap Star Trek movie.
Yes. Romeo, The Godfather gets 9.9 out of 10. Wow. Lord of the Rings trilogy is a 9.9. Dark Knight is 9.9.
Wow. I tell you what is a 9.5, and a lot of people will disagree with me. Dark City. Nobody ever mentions that film.
Love Dark City. It's a great film.
It's okay. Yeah.
That was a total, the Wachowskis ripped that film to pieces and Legoed it for Matrix.
In the chats, I think Time Prophet has been on Cockney's channel a bit too much. Actually, beaming up the whales made them extinct in the first place. Kirk started the problem.
Yeah. What a paradox. That's the paradox of time travel.
Time Prophet, I salute you. That is the comment of the night.
No, he didn't. What are you talking about? He just took 2 whales from the planet. There are thousands and billions, even billions of whales when he took those 2. So how could he have made it? How could he have done that?
Hey, that reminds me of one of the best scenes in that movie, where I think they're Norwegian or Russian or whatever, because it doesn't specify.
Yeah.
But the whalers, when they fire that harpoon and it hits the side of the Klingon bird of prey and the decloak.
Love that bit.
That is an amazing bit.
Yeah.
But do you know what lets it down? The one thing what lets that entire film down,
music?
when they've got the whales, he says, "Warp speed, Mr. Sulu," and then they're in Earth's atmosphere for about 3 minutes.
There's a little bit of it was a little bit slack around the edges, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. So we're going to finish off, guys. So getting back to Empire Strikes Back, just a sentence from each of you, and then we will take our leave. So swappers, a sentence.
Oh yeah. The sequel,
A short one, preferably.
All of the sequels should be measured by probably from now to the end of time. It is the most generally fondly remembered Star Wars film out of every single Star Wars film in creation.
Yeah.
Empire Strikes Back is quintessential, perfect cinema and perfect Star Wars, and I don't think anything will ever beat it, to be honest.
Ian?
Well, as I said before, this film is art to its finest, and I said I know a lot of snobby filmmakers, especially people in the academy and all that, the BAFTA Academy and all that stuff. We look at it as, oh, it's just a kid's film. Oh, it was just entertainment, but it's not. It's up there with the greatest films ever, like, I guess you could say 2001, even though I hated 2001, and I know Rosebud film, which I can never remember that title. Do you remember that one, Rosebud? They keep hailing these films are great. Yeah, they keep hailing. Well, I think Empire Strikes Back is better than those films because it was pure entertainment and broke, and actually created some really good visual effects that never been seen before, or done in a way that's never been seen before. So for that, it's got to be higher than those films that those snobs believe that are great. It's great cinema, as far as I'm concerned. Yeah. So there you go.
MC.
Yeah, pretty much what Matt and Mega Geek has said. It's just a great film. It's a great sequel. It's a good continuation of the story. It builds the characters up more. The effects are amazing. The set pieces are amazing. And yeah, just probably one of the best sequels to an original movie in movie history, I think, as well.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you top Star Wars? You know what I mean? And this did it.
Yeah.
There you go. Z.
Probably the most rewatchable movie I've got in my collection.
Wow.
While we've actually been discussing this, I'm currently sourcing myself a copy of Empire Strikes Back Revisited so I can have another watch. And I'm probably going to watch it after we finish this stream.
Yes.
That's how good this movie is.
Yeah. And have you seen it before?
I haven't, no. Not the revisited version.
You're in for a treat, mate. If you know the film like the back of your hand, you'll know which bits are new. You know what I mean? So you'll just get such fun out of watching this version.
I know the movie inside out, so
There you go.
See how it goes.
Trevor, one
Hello.
sentence. Hello.
Okay, I'll keep it short and sweet. It's
Yeah.
shit hot.
There we go. Okay, so on that bombshell, everybody in the chat, as I said, every week it's the same guys who turn up, and this is the online pub for you guys and for us. So always great input. As I always say, we have nothing without the chat, and it's true. So cheers, guys. We will see you next week. Remember, it's the drinkers. So I will thank the guests. Swappers, thank you.
Thank you.
The wonderful Mega Geek, thank you, my friend.
No worries, guys. No worries.
And first time on the channel, he's been blooded, everybody. MC, thank you.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Wasn't
hope
too
it
bad,
wasn't
was
too
it?
bad. Yeah, no, I
Yes.
enjoyed it. It's hard work trying to concentrate on chat and listening to you guys as well, but
Yeah.
you know, I'll get there in the end.
You are welcome anytime, and I'll probably say that to the chat. Any guys you want to come at some point, shout. Z, thank you.
Always a pleasure, sir. What a great film to hit again out of the blue.
Yeah.
And to watch it again now.
Yeah.
Fuck it.
Yeah, fuck it. And last but by no means least, he's wonderful. We love him. Trevor.
Thank you for having me on, mate, and it's been an absolute pleasure
It's
chatting
great
with
to have you on,
you
mate.
and the rest of the guys. Nice to make your acquaintance, MC.
Yes,
I'm
and
glad
you.
you've had your cherry pop. You'll be walking like John Wayne tomorrow.
We are back tomorrow doing, in fact, tell you what, here we go, plug. Time Profit. By the way, I'm back on the Cardinal Sin channel on Sunday. Melvin, Tatty Bye. Cheers, Melvin. Bidget, cheers. I think that is it. We are back tomorrow doing the Twitter shite and the social stuff and what's been going on in entertainment. Lord Chord will be on tomorrow amongst
I'm definitely
others.
there then.
Trev is back. I think it's going to be kind of Picard and Strange New Worlds tomorrow, perhaps, will be the main topics. But anyway, I think that is it. Take care, everybody. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.